How's it going, everybody? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com doing this video lesson. Today I'm going to be doing the last installment on the series I've done on riffs to get you kicked out of Guitar Center. So, as usual, there are tabs for these riffs, so be sure to click on the link in the description to get those tabs and you can follow along. So let's get close up and take a look. Alright, so the first one we have is the riff from Seven Nation Army. Now, this is like, you know, like played on a bass, or he's playing on a guitar with like an octave pedal or something like that, but you can still play it and it's recognizable and obnoxious. So we start off, we're on the 7th fret, and this is all on the A string. So we've got 7 and then 7 again, and we slide to 10. So this first one is a dotted quarter note. So it's like 1, 2, and then on the end of 2 we hit the 7 and slide to 10. So, and then after we slide to 10, then we come back to 7, to 5, to 3, and then 2. So you get that. Just like that. Alright, so the next one we're going to look at is the main riff from Back in Black. So we start off, we've got an E5. So I'm just using my first finger to bar the 2nd fret of the A and the D string, and then the low E string is open. So this is a quarter note, so this is beat 1, and then on the downbeat of 2 we actually have a 8th note rest. Then we switch to D, and we have 3 strums of that, 2 16th notes and a quarter, and then there's another rest. Then we switch to an A chord and do the same thing. So that's like the first part of it. Okay, so after we hit that last D, that's on the quarter note downbeat of the 2nd measure, and then we have a quarter note rest, a 16th note rest, and then we've got this little riff. So 3rd fret of the high E string to the high E string open, and then we go to the B string and do the same thing. Then we go to the G string, and we're on the 2nd fret, and we're going to pick that and do a full bend and release, and then pull off to the open string. And then it just starts over again, back to the E5, the D, and then the A, and then we have a different fill this time. So 2nd fret of the A string, and then to the 4th fret of the low E, back to the A string, back to the E string 5th fret, back to the A string, back to the low E 6th fret, and then back to the A twice. So the whole thing. Alright, next we have one that is really high up on the list, super obnoxious for to play in the music store, but it's Wonderwall. Now, to be in the same key, you'd need to capo this at the 2nd fret. I don't have my capo handy, I forgot to grab it, but it doesn't matter, you can still play it without the capo. I mean, chances are when you go into Guitar Center you're not going to have a capo that you can use to do it. So this is actually pretty easy. So the first thing we're going to do is going to play like E minor, but you want to use your 1st and 2nd fingers. So 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string.
Very important.
And then you're going to take your 3rd finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the B string and your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the high E. And this is going to stay, those 2 fingers are going to stay there the whole time. So with them there, put our other 2 fingers back up for the E minor. So this is like E minor 7 now. So the strum for it, it's like Now on the last part, he just hits the open D and G string, and that's kind of the transition chord for each time there's a chord change, because it goes from this E minor 7 to a G. So we just keep our first finger where it is and move our second finger from the second fret of the D string to the third fret of the low E, but the third and fourth fingers again stay where they are. Then we're going to switch to a D suspended 4, so we just move our first and second finger down like we're playing a D, again with our third and fourth fingers staying the same. Open D and G string. Now to A7 suspended 4, so we're just going to put our first finger onto the second fret of the D string, a second finger onto the second fret of the G string. And then it just starts over again. So from there, that transition from there is easy. Just move your first and second finger down a set of strings.
There's just nothing coming together.
All right, so now we've made it to the end. This is number 10. This is the most number one. Not supposed to play this one in the Guitar Center or whatever music store you go to. And of course, I am talking about Stairway to Heaven.
No stairway. Denied.
So for this, I'm going to be playing it finger style, but you know, if you don't know how to do finger picking, you can play it with a guitar pick, sort of. You might have to omit some of the things, but that's kind of the fun about it. This one's kind of fun to, you know, really if you can't play it really well, or if you can play it well and you pretend like you can't play it well and stuff, it's really cringy to the store employees. So we start off here. We just got this A minor triad shape here. So my first finger is barring the 5th fret of the high E, B, and G string, and then my third finger is on the 7th fret of the D string. And we're just going to play that. So I'm just starting. My thumb is playing the D string, my first finger is playing the G, my second's playing the B, and my third is playing the high E string. Now we're going to go to our next chord. So keep your first finger where it is, and going to take your third finger off and put your middle finger on the 6th fret of the D string and your pinky onto the 7th fret of the high E. And now we're going to play D and the high E strings together, followed by the B, G, and then the high E again. Okay, so that's like the first measure. Okay, now for our next chord, we're going to move our pinky up 1 fret, so now it's on the 8th fret, take our middle finger off, and now we're going to move our finger so we're barring, starting on the D string at the 5th fret. So D, G, B, and high E, same picking pattern. So that's... Okay, now we've got a D over F sharp, so we're going to come down here. It's D, but we're going to do the F sharp here. So how I like to play it is I just bar my first finger at the 2nd fret of the G, B, and high E string, and then put my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B, the B string, and then my 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the D string. And then we've got F major 7. So 3rd fret of the D string with my 3rd finger, 2nd fret of the G string with my 2nd finger, 1st fret of the B string with my 1st finger, and then the high E string is open. So here we've got D and E together, B, G, B, E, B, G. Then we have a G. So we're basically just getting the 3rd fret of the low E and then the D, G, and B strings open to A minor. Then we've got this open low E, and open A string. So we hit that, and then we do a slide from nowhere to the 8th fret. to the 7th fret, and then it just starts over. So when I do that is I hit the string open and then I just start at the 3rd fret. So I fret, pick and slide together to 7, and then just starts over again. All right. So, like I've kind of said in the past, is that if you really want to troll and be kind of funny, then you do stuff like, slightly, make the guitar just a little bit out of tune, or like stretch some of these and just kind of play it a little bit wrong. One of my private students did that. He played Sweet Child of Mine, and he just changed some of the notes, so it was, see how to, yeah. Something like that. It was really, really funny. All right, so there you have it. That is the last installment of the Forbidden Riffs to play at Guitar Center. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. And let me know, what is your favorite Forbidden Riff to play at the local music store. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.